I want to share something in this video with you that's truly going to help you manifest into a new reality, to quantum jump anywhere you want to go in reality and create whatever you want to come into your life, whether that's a new physique or that's $1 million or it's a McLaren or it's a Lamborghini or it's a Ferrari or a new relationship or just being pain-free and being healthy, transforming these different things, quantum jumping. I want to explain this again in a really simple way to where you can understand, to really simply move yourself and quantum jump into a new reality with another version of yourself that already exists, that has everything that you want. And that's the key. Knowing that you're living in a simulation and that your world actually isn't real. And that's like the first part of understanding. But in order to quantum jump, you must feel yourself into that version of yourself that already exists in the world that lives, where that exists simultaneously to us right now. So there's a version of you right now that exists, that has everything that you desire, that drives a supercar, that's in the perfect relationship, has the perfect physique, that is doing everything that you desire to do. And you're the only one that knows exactly what that is, but you do know what it is. But there's a version of you right now. So all you have to do is ask yourself this question: what does this version of me feel like? Like, what's the natural feeling that the version of me that has everything that I want, what is the natural feeling of this person? Like, what do they feel like? What are they doing? How do they act? You have to just contemplate all these ideas. Like, if this was you right now, this version of you was you right now, what would they be doing? How would they be feeling? And what would be the natural accepted feeling of this version of you? And just overall, just like in general, what does this version of you feel like all the time? And you have to ask yourself, and then you simply extend your feelers. You don't go anywhere. You simply extend your feelers into this new version of yourself. That's it. You just extend your feelers of this version of yourself, and then you just become this new version of yourself now. And that's the secret to quantum jump, with quantum mechanics, quantum physics. Because there's an infinite amount of versions of you and an infinite amount of versions of me that exists in these realities that exist simultaneously to us right now. Infinite realities. And you can jump into these realities, and usually it'll be like, you'll be fractional, like you're always shifting fractionally in the parallel realities or the multiverse. You're always fractionally shifting, but you can make big jumps when you make big impressions, and you make big jumps with the natural feeling of you being closer to this version of you that has all this stuff already. So remember that as you're quantum jumping, and you can do this like periodically throughout the day. Just like imagine yourself, or just ponder upon or think about this version of you that has everything, that is no longer in pain, that has everything that you desire, that drives what you, is in a relationship, that has the physique that you want, is healthy, that does everything that you want to be doing, and has everything that you want. This version of you, what's the difference between that version of you and the version of you now? And you start just acting as if you are this version of yourself and feel yourself into it. You're not going in it. You have to remember this too. The world that you're living is a simulation. It's just a simulation. And creation is finished. It's completely finished. So you're not going anywhere to meet or to find this version of you. This version of you exists within you right now. Like, it literally exists within you right now. There's nowhere to go to find this version of you. It's that you're already that version of yourself. So you have to contemplate this, think on this as you're doing it. You're not going anywhere. You are already this version of you right now in the present moment. It's not in the future. It's not in a week. It's not in an hour. It's literally right now. You are this person right now. So if I can give you another example of this, like an infinite amount of movies, like the realities are kind of like movies where creation is finished. So imagine an infinite amount of versions that exist on top of one another, and they never end. But every one of these movies are already finished. Like, they've already played out. Every one of us has already lived and died, and it's just like a loop that goes over and over and over. But how this works is, when creation is finished, these are all fourth dimensional movies that exist, and they're already completed. We are living in the 3 dimensions, but you quantum jump when you get into the 4th dimension, but I'll explain that too. But imagine right now there's a version of you that's living in one of these other alternate movies, and they all finish differently, and you can change that. Like your movie ends a certain way that you're now, like everything's already set, like in the movie that you're currently in. But there's a movie that exists simultaneously right now where that movie ends differently with a different version of you. But it has already finished. So creation is already finished, but you're passing through these movies, okay, that are already finished, just like going into a movie theater. That movie's already been written, produced, acted in, and everything, okay? But when you go to watch it, you watch it from the beginning all the way to the end. So you're passing through something that's already completed. The infinite realities work exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. But you can shift to a different movie anytime you want, simply by feeling yourself into a new version of yourself. And it's really amazing when you start contemplating this. It breaks you through those old barriers when you truly break down the process and how everything works. And that's what I'm trying to do with you here, is explain how the infinite, how what you're really truly living in is the simulation, and none of it's actually real. It's all based on feeling. Feeling is absolutely everything. No one would ever do anything if a feeling wasn't attached to it as well. Like if you think about anything that you desire, you don't want that thing for any other reason than desiring it, or a feeling of how you're going to feel after you have it. Like like how I manifested my McLaren, how I manifested the life that I have now, everything that I possess, is because there was a feeling attached to it. How would that make me feel to drive a McLaren? I'd feel tremendous. That's the only reason that I wanted it. How it would make me feel, and how many lives I can change with it. Just driving down the road. When I go anywhere in my car, so many people light up. People are taking pictures, and they get so excited, and it puts a smile on so many people's face. And I absolutely love that. That feeling of that is actually another visualization that you could do, to create that into your life. But with everything that you do, there's a feeling attached to it. Like even in relationships, if you want a relationship, the only reason you want a relationship is because of the way that person is going to make you feel. And you're contemplating this feeling before you reach out to that person, like whatever reason that would be. Like there's something about that person that's going to make you feel a certain way, and that's why you desire that person. Or to have a beautiful house, because of the way that you would feel living in that house. And that's what attracts it to you, and that's the person that you become in order to attract it to you, or to go get it in your state of consciousness. So not only is feeling a secret, feeling is everything. That's what generates and creates the reality that you're living in within the simulation. That's how it operates, is through feeling. No one would ever lift a finger if there wasn't a feeling attached to it, some sort of feeling on the outcome of it, and that's what keeps it moving. All right. So feeling is absolutely everything. Feeling is the secret, and it's not an emotion, so to speak. It is the feeling of acceptance of the end, or the natural feeling of already having what you want. And that's the true way to quantum jump. Because if you're super excited about a new version of yourself, and you're trying to get into that super excitement, that version of you that has everything you want isn't super excited. They're more natural, and they've accepted that that's just who they are. And they've already worked through that whole process. So you have to contemplate that too. It's more of an acceptance of the end of being that version of yourself right now. You're already that version of yourself. So I kind of wanted to break down and give you some more examples of that, of how that works with like the infinite amount of movies that are playing, because that's really what we're living in. And it's all being created from within you in your imagination. And you connect with that version of yourself by feeling that, like just asking yourself those questions. Like, how would I feel like this version of myself, like that has everything that I want? And you can look up if you want, or look around and just like ponder upon and really submerge yourself in that feeling. Like this version of me that owns this mansion, that lives on the beach, or drives your car you want, has the relationship, has the physique that you want, everything that, like, who is this version? Who is this person of me? And how do they feel? Like, what do they do? Like, how do I feel? I want to feel like this person. And you put yourself into that. You're not going anywhere. You're just that version of yourself right at that moment. And you just keep doing that through repetition, and fall asleep doing that. And then you'll start shifting into that reality. And you'll start seeing it very, very soon if you start practicing it. But that's how you do it. I wanted to make this video because I've been thinking about this, and I love to share this kind of stuff. And also, one other thing that really helps with this is to have reminders. And that's why I want to bring you back to my private community that I have on school, which if you sign up for it, it is a paid community, but you get access to the entire community. You get a new classroom. We just restructured it. You get 3 live coaching calls with me where you can ask questions. On Friday, we do Q&A. I make sure I answer everyone's questions and I break it all down. But the main part about this are reminders and being in a community. So when you get these reminders, like if you get the app on your phone, when something happens, you're gonna get a notification. You can turn your notifications on, you get a reminder, these different posts to keep you in, daily posts, even hourly. We have one of the most engaged communities in the entire school platform right now. Out of all the communities, we're in the top. We're like in the top 5 for engagement of how many people are posting, how engaged everyone is inside the community. And you get these notifications from everyone that posts something. So it gives you these reminders. So I want to encourage everyone, however you get your reminders, just make sure you're getting your reminders. And I just wanted to share that, to make sure that you're doing it, because like I said before, it's important to start, but it's more important not to stop and to keep yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable for making these changes and shifting in the quantum field. I love you all, and I will see you inside your community.